Good morning.
Good morning.
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 Martin, you a big fan or just that one song?
Fan, and just reminds me of my college years. So I'm aging myself as well.
Yeah, I actually saw them live at Trinity College. That was like our spring break band, and it was I was just the amount of instruments that they had on that stage. I think they pretty much had everyone that is known to mankind, and they brought them all out and played them at some point. So it was pretty wild. Who wants to get us started with some positivity? What's going on, Frankie?
First, let me say I saw Rusty Root up at Great Woods, I think like maybe 26 years ago, 25 years ago with Hot Tuna and the other ones. Probably the best concert I've ever been to in my life. And I got my first accepted offer yesterday.
Oh, nice, man. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
finally. Worked out.
Uh,
So happy about that.
Any story that you want to share around it, or
Not yet. Just playing it cool.
how long you been working the client?
She came through, I want to say probably about a month and a half ago, and we were going to go look at a house, and the house is going under contract like that day. So the agent wanted us to go look at it, and she's been picky ever since. I've been sending her probably maybe one or two a week that fit what she was looking for. Had never met her, and then she's like, yeah, let's go see this one, and then we were off and running maybe 2 weeks ago.
When you say sending her one or two a week, are you physically, you're not just letting listing alerts happen, you're actually, looking through the listing alerts that went to her and then texting, hey, did you see this one? Did you see this one?
Yeah, I was like searching for what she was looking for, which was like in Plainville, like a ranch, 3 bedrooms, cute looking house. When I found something that looked cute, I said, hey, this one's pretty cute. How about this one? And so like hand picking listings for her, not just letting them go.
That's awesome.
And,
That's awesome. I think too many agents, Frankie, are gonna just to cut in for a hit, are just setting up the listing alerts. Right? This is absolutely fishing. You gotta set the bait, you gotta drop it in and see if anything bites. And then you gotta do it again tomorrow with a different bait or a different lure or whatever you're into, but you gotta try different stuff to catch the fish. If you're just setting them up on listing alerts, you're not going to have success. Right. So I love that you're being proactive. Did you have some more around the story?
Oh, no, not much. I'm just into the next steps now. I got the list from Miss Lauren last night, so I'm just working that actually right now as we speak.
Yeah, my advice, try and look far ahead into this deal. I mean, obviously you're on this call. You hear a lot of this stuff. But don't just be looking at one step. Try and look at all the rest of the steps that need to happen for you to have a successful closing, and try to predict some of the things, that could go wrong, and just make sure you're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. All right.
Right on.
Awesome. Martin, what do you got?
So there's this house in Beckett that I literally have shown like 5 times, including this one particular gentleman. And I ended up getting to know the listing agent really well. And we finally got the offer put in, and it's going to be accepted this morning. So it makes me happy after showing this house so many times.
5 different clients, Martin?
4 different clients. One client was twice, and then the wife decided not to go with it because it was a little too much work for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the other thing that you guys are going to find is a lot of times, the best of the best, they're showing it to one client, but they got another client in the back of their head that are like, man, I know this person doesn't like it, but I just showed this to Julie and Johnny, or I showed something similar. They're going to love this. Like, that matchmaker is absolutely the name of the game here. So, Martin, just out of curiosity, out of the 4 clients that you showed it to, how many of those clients reached out to you, and how many did you reach out to them to say, hey, I just showed this, and I think it might be a good fit for you?
Actually, 2 of them.
2, half and
I
half.
reached out. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Pro level. I love it. Angela, I don't know if you're in a position to talk, but I got a text from Alex that you said you had an interesting story from yesterday. Are you in a position to share? you're trying to share, you're muted. There you go.
Sure. Absolutely. So I had a go and show with a Zillow lead. That was kind of a go show the condo in Sarasota within the hour. Showed up and did the driveway talk of signing the showing agreement, all that kind of good stuff. He had no issue signing it. Just kind of very odd gentleman.
I want to back up. You used the term showing agreement. Did you do the showing, the touring thing, or did you actually do a buyer's agreement?
No, I'm sorry. I actually did a buyer's agreement.
Okay,
Yep.
just curious.
So back up. Yep. Did a buyer's
Okay.
agreement, spoke to him for a little bit. He really didn't even read anything. He just, listened to what I had to say and he signed it. So no issue. But just kind of a quirky guy, just something was off. And, basically long story short, I ended up showing him this vacant condo and, just something, every ounce in my body, like my hair was just standing up in the back of my neck. Just a very odd man. I kept trying to keep the front door open to the condo that I was showing, and he kept closing it behind me, saying he wanted to keep the air in the condo. Toured around the house. He kept calling me like kind of to the back room. He wanted to show me the closet because it was kind of quirky looking. Long story short, I guess to any agent out there, especially females, just if something in your gut is telling you something's not right, something's not right. And it all, ended up working out fine. I actually ended up writing an offer for him. And I actually, halfway through the showing, I said, let me go ahead and just take a picture of your driver's license. If you're thinking about writing an offer on this home, I'm going to need your info anyways. He just really freaked me out. Just his whole demeanor towards me really freaked me out. And every time, like I said, I tried to open the front door, he kept closing it behind me. I ended up cutting the showing very short. So I guess my point to the story is we just need to be very careful as agents, especially with these go and show Zillows. If something's not right, something's not right. And at that moment, it's just not worth the sale to me, you know?
Yeah.
So just kind of a bit of warning when you're showing property like that, especially vacant. It was after 5.
What are people doing for protection? I'm assuming most of you guys are, don't have a license to carry, but are people doing pepper spray? Are people doing, is there something else? Like what's the go-to for safety here?
For me, I do have pepper spray and a taser. And it's just very funny because I was already running late for the showing. I was kind of in a hurry. I was wearing a dress. I had no pockets or something that I usually stick my pepper spray in. And it was the one time I didn't carry it. I just kept thinking, what can I use to defend? It was just very odd, but definitely we should all be carrying something, especially meeting somebody at a vacant property for the first time.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of pepper spray, taser, a bunch of license to carry, some knives. I'm not familiar with the laws in all the different states. Are these all legal in all, at least the Roe v. states, Mass, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Florida? Can anybody speak to this stuff? Anybody want to speak? What is legal? Is pepper spray legal in all states? Is there no, at a bare minimum, we should be starting with that? As far as we know. Somebody speak.
I know pepper spray, taser. I mean, that's pretty much sold everywhere here in Florida, and we can carry. I'm actually working on.
Yeah.
I'd love to be working on my concealed to carry. Also, middle of my story, I did take a picture of his driver's license and I sent it to Alex right away with my location. So maybe it's not a bad idea to be sharing your location with a partner or somebody when you're meeting someone at the first time, and especially again at a vacant property.
I don't know, are people using apps for that? I know we can just, with an iPhone, you can just have location on and always be sharing to your contacts, correct? I don't know if anybody's using something different than that. KB, your hand was up.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you hear me? I keep trying to
Yep.
unmute it. Okay. So there's a forewarn app. That's one that you can use. There's a bunch of like like share my locations, obviously, with your iPhones and stuff. But in regards to the legalities in the different states, I'm pretty sure that pepper spray is legal in all states. Just a difference in how you have to get permitted for it. I got pepper spray in Massachusetts, and I had to fill out like an application, and it took like 2 weeks for them to give me an approval. But that was years ago, and it may have changed now. But they also have like these little, like they're like key ring, like dagger type things, or like metal. I forget the name of them. But I've seen a lot of people that carry those as well.
I just looked up for Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island quickly, and it does say over 18 you can have pepper spray. It looks like without any sort of permit now. Under it looks like 15 to 18 you would need some sort of permit, but over you can just have it now.
Yeah, I just did a quick chat GPT. I'm getting the same thing on pepper spray, and I'm getting tasers banned in Hawaii, Rhode Island, New York, and Washington, D.C., or maybe some restrictions, either total ban or near total ban. So just, guys, just check your state laws and make sure that you are protected. Let's see who is next here. I got Jeff and Linda next.
I don't have anything additional to add. I was just going to say that before we go out, we always forewarn to see if somebody has any sort of a criminal background before we go to meet them. And we've actually had to cancel a couple of appointments due to them coming up with some really unsavory stuff. So that's always a great idea. And then Life 360 is the app that Jeff always knows where I am, because many times I don't. So that way he always can be Lobo, where, I know where you are and all of that. And that's very helpful. Having somebody and let them know before you go out or you are on your way to an appointment where you are going, and let them know, hey, I'm meeting somebody a stranger I've never met before. And a lot of times I'll say, please call me. The appointment's at say 5:30. Call me at 5:32 or 5:33, and I can let you know you just say yes or no with respect to do I feel safe with this person or not.
So, Linda, you mentioned the Forewarn app, and I know a lot of the MLSs, it comes, with the MLS, you get it for free. And I don't know that it's in all of our MLSs, but just curious, what did the conversations sound like when you did pull up an issue? If you've already got an appointment scheduled, or, how did those conversations go?
Well, I have to be honest with you. Jeff was the one who canceled the appointments. But he's trying to untangle something right now on a with that loop. So we'll ask him exactly how he addresses it. But he has no qualms about if someone is a dangerous human being. I'm whatever. He has no problems with saying, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be able to meet you there. And typically people don't
push back. Yeah. I don't know if it was like, hey, I would need to meet you in the office for the first time, and then they get weirded out and then they don't do that, or if there was actual language that you're using. So let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
Awesome. Martin, you were next.
So I put it in chat. There's actually, you don't need an LTC for it. It's non-lethal. It's a CO2. It is a gun, but like I said, in many states you don't need an LTC to carry it. It's basically like rubber bullets. They're like 0.68. And since it runs off CO2, it's non-lethal, but it'll bring somebody down if anybody's interested. That's all. Because I got one for my wife.
You talking about the burner gun?
Just something where it's like.
Yeah, Frank, that's I'm seeing the link and it says Berna. BYNA. Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty good thing. I'm not a gun guy, but I'm gonna get one of those one day. And like some of them have tear gas in them. So you shoot somebody in the face with that, they're down and out, and you can get away.
Great share. Amber, you were next.
Yeah, I was gonna mention a few things. The burner was definitely one of them. Like they said, you can get it with pepper spray, with the rubber bullets, or with that. Also in Connecticut, the pepper spray it has different levels. So like the basic level of pepper spray is legal, you can have, but if you get like stronger versions, then you need a license for it. And then when it comes to the tasers, the ones that you hold in your hand are called stun guns, and those are legal. But if they like shoot tasers out of it, then those are not legal in Connecticut for anyone to have. And then those handheld ones that KB was talking about, a lot of people do have those, but those are very illegal.
KB, you were next.
Yeah, I mean, to me, safety is just such an important topic. So I'm glad that it came up on this call today. And I just want to make sure that, everyone's on the same page and understands that we will never expect you guys to show a property if you don't feel comfortable. But there are some things that you can definitely do to make sure that you're taking precautions. So obviously having something on you is definitely very helpful, but also little things from the way that you park at the house, right? Not just pulling in a driveway where someone can pull in behind you, parking on the road so you have an easy way to get out, walking behind the client, not necessarily in front of the client so they can't do like what Angela's saying, shut doors or push you down into basements and things like that. Having somebody, if you get a awkward feeling and you decide, hey, I'm going to go meet this person, bring somebody with you, right? Like there's no problem with saying, hey, team, I'm meeting this client. I got a weird feeling on the phone call, or, the last time I met him, I was a little uncomfortable. Anybody want to come along with me? I'll buy you a coffee, right? So use each other or family members. I had an open house one time where there was a really strange guy who wouldn't come out of the basement. So I called my brother-in-law and he just hung around the open house with me. So just make sure that you're using the people around you if you're in a position where you're uncomfortable.
Anybody else have something that, Amber, was your hand lingering or did you have something else?
Oh no, I just wanted to add something else really quick. That
Okay.
was showing time has the beacon too, where you just hit the beacon, and then if you don't turn off the beacon, it'll automatically send emergency services to your location. I don't like that one as much, even though it's something better than nothing, because I'm afraid I'll just start talking and forget to turn it off, and then all of a sudden people will be there. I'm like, no, everything's fine. But the other day I did just send my sister like who I was with, the location that I was going to be with, and then I had her on video chat, just kind of muted her. And then whenever I felt comfortable, I was like, okay, you can hang up now, because I was meeting some random guy off Zillow in like the middle of the woods. So I'm like, and I had no one to take with me, or else I would have. But yeah, so just something I did.
Yeah, that's a great share. I wasn't aware of the beacon. So, Doreen.
Yeah, in Florida, we had the concealed carry license, and it's you have to go through the 30-day, the fingerprints, et cetera, et cetera. But the governor had lifted the concealed part. So just so everybody knows, we're like kind of like Texas now, where we can actually carry and we don't have to hide it. Before we had to hide it, you couldn't show it or have it been seen. But now you can just reveal it and say, hey, I'm carrying. You can get a holster and put it on your hip and say, hey, especially if you're, with a weird person, like Angela got those weird vibes. I've had that once happen to me where I had extremely bad vibes from somebody. It turned out to be nothing, but I didn't feel right. I didn't go into the house at all. And I told him, I'm going to sit outside. It was dark and I was by myself, and he left his car running, which really was weird. And I was like, this is not right. And I told them I'm staying out here, but it's okay. We're protected because I'm carrying. So I sometimes will let them know in a joking way that I'm carrying. So not that he could have taken me at any second because he was a really big guy, but just putting it out there that we don't have to conceal it anymore in Florida.
KB.
Yeah, I just have just a comment on the carrying, whether it's concealed or not. So my brother is a police officer in Punta Gorda. He runs the Punta Gorda Police Department, and he's also a sniper and artillery trainer for the Air Force. And his biggest thing and what he has seen happen in instances is that, people, they have their license, they get their license, they know they carry a gun and they can legally carry the gun. But in a situation where there's high anxiety or fear. They just don't know how to react quickly with the gun. So the biggest thing is, if you are going to carry, whether it be concealed or not concealed, make sure you're taking some time to go to the range and you know how to use your equipment, because it could wind up being more dangerous to have it on you and not know how to carry it, and not know how to use it in a situation that you may need it in.
Good. What do we have here? Let's see. Who was next? Sorry. Last night. Doreen, you were next.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to ask KB if, since your brother is a trainer and so forth, would it be any way possible that he can actually help us out and maybe give us a short, maybe class or something that we all can, from our local Florida team, meet with him and, go through the process? Because I've been licensed for 4 years now, but I've never shot it. And you're probably right. I probably would freak out or be so nervous, shaking. I couldn't hit something if I tried. So if
Yes,
I
I
love
definitely, he's super passionate about safety. So I definitely think that would be something that he would be 100% willing to do. But you got to get to the, people can't even get the safety off, so you just really got to know, if you're going to be taking it with you, you better know how to use it. Because if somebody knows how to use it better than you, they're just going to take it from you. So yes, I will talk to him, Doreen.
Frankie, you were next.
Yeah, I don't want to change the subject completely. But we were talking about this at lunch a little bit yesterday. My wife asked me the other day, she was like, when you go to showings, she goes, how many times are you with like single women? And I said to her, not often, but yeah, a lot of times. And she asked me if I ever like have one of you guys say like, on the phone, or am I ever recording what's going on? Have you ever heard anybody like, bring up allegations against somebody else that might have been or might not have been false? Like, she watches all those crazy horror murder shows and crime dramas, so she's always got some scenarios going on. So like, she kind of like not worried me, but I'm like, oh yeah, there is a lot of crazy women out there too who might, has anybody ever heard of anything like that? Yeah, right on.
I don't think it's out of the question, Frankie. I just don't know how to. I don't know how you handle it, Martin.
Just to kind of go over what KB said. One thing, everybody who has a license to carry, you got to remember, you have to keep training, because it's all about muscle memory. Because if you have that muscle memory built in, you're going to know what to do. And like, I guess that's, it's not just in half hour worth of training. It's like, practicing at least once a week, or once every 2 weeks, just to get that muscle memory in your brain. That's all.
Yep. Lauren?
To Frankie's point, to totally not ignore what he said, I think in most of the states we have, you have to let the other person know if you are recording. Right. So I don't think you can just secretly record something, but I think if that was something you wanted to do, you just have to make it known that you're recording just audio through the showing, or what it be.
Amber, could you seem to allude to the fact that the beacon did some sort of recording. What was that all about? Is that not for use in this scenario?
The beacon is just like through showing time. So as soon as you have your appointment, you literally hit start the beacon, and then it records your area, your location. I'm not sure if it actually records anything. And then if you don't turn that beacon off within the set time, it will alert the authorities.
Okay. A little different than what Frankie was needing. So maybe, Frankie, the simple solution is just, if you felt like you were in an uncomfortable situation, to just let them know that you'd be recording.
Yeah, it seems like how it would be. But I've never been uncomfortable, so I have no idea. Like even when we were talking about our Zillow training, about I was in my Zillow training with like 7 or 8 like women. They're all like, "Oh, I carry." They're like, "Frankie, what do you do?" I'm like, "I'm a 300-pound black man. No one's trying to rape me. Like, I'm okay." But I get the essence for safety, though. I feel bad that we live in a world that we need to carry guns and whatnot, but
We do have 5 left here, guys. Did somebody have something pressing on a deal? We spent a lot of time on the safety because I think it is important. But does anything pressing on a deal that you need to get out on the table or need help with, or a share from your adventures of Wednesday? Tracy. You're muted, Tracy.
Sorry, it wouldn't let
Tracy,
me
you're,
unmute.
there you
Yeah.
go. There you
Okay,
go.
it would not let me unmute. It was kind of weird. Okay, so I just had a really weird scenario the other day. I just want to bring it up. I had an open house, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I put the ad on Craigslist as under a realtor broker. And I had somebody, a real estate broker, send me an email talking about how she's a broker and she can list the house and blah 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 blah, how great she is. And I'm just like, I emailed her back. I'm like, wait. I'm like, if you have a buyer, I'm happy to let you see it, but are you trying to reach the seller? Because that's a violation. If she's a broker, she should know that. Um, and she's like, oh no, it's under owner. I'm like, I sent her a screenshot. I'm like, no, it's under real estate broker. I don't know. It's just like, it was kind of like ridiculous. Like you know, before I ever reach out to anybody, even on Craigslist, I would usually go on MLS, just take a peek. I do the same thing when I have somebody, a seller lead come to me. I always take a peek before I even make a call. So I just wanted to just bring that up. It's just like, she didn't respond after I sent her the screenshot, but I think I pretty much caught her and, trying to do something devious.
Yeah. So, and just, I want to back up there. So are you saying when you take listings, Tracy, you do take an extra step to post the listing on Craigslist?
I did for the open house. It was just for I don't normally, Craigslist isn't my obviously. Way back in the day, I used to make a lot of money on Craigslist when we could do like different things on Craigslist looking for buyers and sellers. But yeah, I did the extra step and I did the open house ad there. And like I said, this was like, I don't even know, like maybe 3 weeks ago. And so it was kind of odd that I got this email. I think it was like Sunday morning or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's definitely not by owner. It's definitely real estate by broker. I was personally, I checked. I'm like, did I mess up? My God, did I goof up? To own my own stuff. And then I checked. I'm like, yeah, it's under real estate broker, and she never responded. So
Yeah.
I think she realized that she goofed and she needs to watch herself.
Yeah. Good share. Anybody else have something that others could learn from? All right, I'll throw one more out there that I saw in chat. Was had an agent who had a property under agreement. The deal fell apart, and before putting it back on market, they were able to put the deal together again. And so the question was just like, do I need to change the statuses? But I'm not aware of any of our MLSs that would require that status change to happen. If you're able to put the deal, so your UAG or under agreement or whatever it is in your MLS, deal falls apart, you would typically then go back to, if you had 3 or 4 other offers, you'd go back to those offers. If you had some other showings that never brought an offer, you would talk to them, see if you could put the deal back together. Status wouldn't change. If you can't put the deal back together, then you go back on market, you start your marketing up again, etc. Does anybody have any questions around that, or does anybody know of something different in their MLS that I might be missing?
I think just a reminder to go in and change the information for the party on the other side, right? Is all that's important. Because when you go contingent, you have to add the other side's party in there and their information. So just making sure that it gets updated to the new one.
Gotcha. Good point. There was a second piece on this one. It was a probate deal. So the agent was questioning whether the whole probate process was going to now have to start back over, because you do have to get approval. I don't know if in every single probate situation, but I know in most, you got to get court approval on the number that you've agreed on. So my understanding, the probate still just continues on. So if you had already made a lot of progress on the probate side, that progress just continues. It's going independently of what's going on with your offer, but you may need to get that offer approved with the court, right? So just make sure you're talking to the probate attorneys. Hey, we lost that first buyer. Here's the new buyer. It's $2,000 less. Just want to make sure that this was okay. But it shouldn't set you all the way back to the beginning. I don't know if anybody's had a different scenario. That's my understanding of how the probate process is going to work. Go ahead, Keely.
Yeah, to that, so the attorney, the seller's attorney did tell me that it starts back from square one. So it's going to take another 60 days for the new offer to be able to close. So that's why I was like, that's why I asked you. I've never dealt with this, but I just don't know why it would go all the way back to day one. You know, I'm not sure.
Is the new offer significantly lower or something?
No, it's 10,000 lower, not significantly. No. No.
And this is an attorney that's familiar with the probate process, or this is the real estate attorney?
This is a real estate attorney. She does some probate apparently, but this is the attorney my seller chose. And the problem we're having is that somebody dropped the ball. So when everything went to probate, we were waiting 2 months, and it takes about 8 weeks, apparently, she was saying. And I said, do you have a docket number? Do you have anything that I can actually look at so I could do my own research? Because she's like, we're not hearing anything back. She didn't even have a docket number, anything. Lo and behold, it was on somebody's desk at the court, and it slipped through the cracks apparently and never got filed. So now my buyer's like, screw this. We are not going to be held up any longer. We're done with this. We're done with this transaction. So now we have to go. Now I had to go find a new buyer and the whole 9 yards. So somebody dropped the ball. The attorney didn't take accountability for it. I don't know if it was on her end or if it was just strictly the court, and that in fact did happen, but kind of pissed me off because, now we're back to square one. And this has been on market, I think, like 6 months now. So.
Yeah, I'd reach out to Attorney Garvey. She's done a lot with the probate courts. I feel like she really knows that process.
Okay.
I would reach out to her about what happened, and it doesn't sound right to me, but I could be off. So,
that's all right. Yeah, I'll reach out to her today.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any experience that they wanted to share around the probate stuff? Okay. Yeah, to me, Keely, it's just not making sense. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's got to get approved in the probate process that should be happening independent of that offer. And I just don't see why new buyer should make this thing start over. So I'd be interested to hear the follow-up on this one.
Yeah.
So whatever you find out, if you could bring it back. There's got to be something else going on, or the attorney doesn't understand the probate process. So
Okay, will do.
yeah, let's see. All right, guys. Awesome call today. Lots of great stuff, little tidbits, tips, tricks, great shares, and exciting. Let's have a great Thursday, and we'll do it all again tomorrow morning. Take care.
Thank you.